Hello, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Production House podcast, where I will be chatting with the hidden heroes of dance music culture and the people that are the glue of operations behind the scenes. My name's Stretch, so if you're sitting comfortably, then let me begin. Welcome along to the Production House podcast number 9. It's the 11th of April 2023, and I am with the man Bas Baetsen.
Correct.
Said it correctly.
Yeah.
Buzz, thank you very much indeed for taking your time off.
Nice to be here.
One day off that you've got. You're going to come and spend an hour with me, so I appreciate it. I haven't seen you in ages. We've just had a quick sort of prep before the studio, and lots have happened because I've actually got like managing director at Extrema events.
Yeah.
But things have moved on a lot since then. So we can start with, what's your job description?
My job description, well, that was one of them you just mentioned. But in general, I'm like I think for 26 years now, head of program for all the Extrema related events. That also includes Solar and our new project Extrema Noir, which is always at the end of December. But job description doesn't matter, but yeah, I'm also managing the team within Extrema. So basically that, yeah.
Yeah, and so tell me, please, how it all started for you.
How it all started? Well, I was a DJ. It started with my love for music, but that was, I think I was like 16, 17 when I started trying to mix things together. I bought my first Technics turntables and bought records. Started to get a nightlife residency. Nightlife was a church based in Maastricht. It was one of the 12, 13 pop stages in Holland. It was a church, and on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday they had a program. I played with Chesto, with Ferry Korsen there, Armin van Buuren, but also Whipneus and Pim, which was really, it was really commercial. And I always I started the night and I closed the night, and the headliner like Ferry or Armin, they played between 1 and 3. I think I was 18, 19 during that time. Then the next obvious step was I want to produce records. And during that time, I actually got to know Thijs Chesto. I had contact with him with MSN Messenger, etc., and he was already blowing up, inner city, etc. And I was talking to him. I was like, "What stuff do you got in your studio?" And he gave me a list with Access Virus, the JV 2080, Akai 5000 sampler, etc. This is what I have in my studio, which I make records with. I was like, okay, I wrote down the list, and I think 1 week later I went to Rotterdam. Peter Verspuy, he was a big seller for hardware for producing in the studio. Together with my father, we loaded everything in the car, and I built a studio in my sleeping room. Yeah, completely with everything on top. But then I was like, Jesus, how does everything connect with each other? It was, nowadays you have a laptop and you have a Logic or good software on it, but that was all hardware. So I learned to meet more people. One of them was René Ames. He's also a really intelligent and good producer, and also was a good DJ.
Shout to René.
Yeah. And we were friends during that day. He also played my residency in nightlife sometimes, and he learned me the tips and tricks, how to connect all the hardware together and how to use Cubase, etc. So I was going to make music. We did some releases with René also. It was during that day. My DJ name was DJ Bass, and then René was he used his own alias. We did some releases on sub labels from Extrema. And during the day, there was a label manager called Peter van Hel. Do you know Peter?
I know Peter, yeah.
Who was behind 6 milliliters and also a big supporter of Magic DK during that times. And he worked for Extrema during that time, together with Roger. And they were the head of program within the Extrema company. And so we released our tracks, which I made together with René on the Extrema sub-labels. And during that time, I was also studying. So I had to do a final study exam within a company.
What was you studying for?
Commercial economics. Yeah. And
it's coming handy.
It was. And so I needed to do an internship within a company. It was logical that, you know, during that time I released some tracks on the Extrema label. I was like, maybe I can ask Extrema if I can do an internship over there. And that was like, I don't know, I think 26 years ago. I can't recall it anymore. I mean, Extrema was started also the same year when Mysteryland was started and Dance Valley was started. I believe Extrema was 1 year later.
95, 96.
Yeah, and I came with Extrema 2 years later.
98.
Yeah. Starting my internship. So I got hired by the owners of Extrema that day. It was Marcel and Sander during the day. They founded Extrema. And then I started liking working behind the scenes much more than being a DJ myself. I you know, and it was I was doing the internship my first year, and I was like, Peter was telling me, okay, we need to do the lineup from Extrema Outdoor. They were doing all the international names during that time, like James Holden and all those cool names, John Dickweed. And I was asked to do the Dutch stage, and I was like, okay, who shall we book? Let's look at Eric E. I was like, how do I book Eric E. during that day? And just sent an email to the agent asking if he's available on that date, and ask what price he's looking for. So that was the first time doing my first booking ever for Extrema. And
shout out to Eric Erdhausen.
yeah. Shout out. And yeah, that was, I've never left since that day. And that's like, how many years ago? It's like 26 years ago. So yeah, and then some people left at Extrema. One of the owners left. Peter left. He was more focusing on his own thing with his own labels. Then the other programmer left, Roger, and I was the only one doing the program for Extrema. And I've been doing that for years right now. Then Extrema stopped doing the events in Aquabest, because Extrema was well known for the Extrema Outdoor event here in Eindhoven, Aquabest. We started doing Extrema in Belgium. So we took Extrema from Holland to Belgium. Started doing there first, trying to do the same thing that we did in Holland. Kind of commercial mixed with the techno and also the progressive. It didn't work in the first 2 years because we had Eric Murillo, we had Sonnery James, Ryan Marciano, but also too many DJs playing in Belgium. And then our partner Ugur for Belgium, he was like, Bas, we're going to do it different. We're going to do it different. We're going to do something we love. And Ugur and I are musical-wise on the same level. We like to do the techno-minded stuff. Not only the hard techno, but also, you know, the Adriatic sound, Televas sound, the Afterlife sound. I think from year 3 we started doing that sound in Belgium, and it went booming. I think we're one of the biggest underground techno festivals right now in Belgium. And besides that, we're also still doing the Solar Festival, which is on the other hand, it's really commercial, pop rock, hip hop.
So is it in Nederland?
Yeah, it's in Roermond.
Yeah,
it's. I think it's
been on that location since the beginning, right?
Yeah. It's one of the. I think it's one of the most creative festivals in Holland. We invite a lot of volunteers, people, creativities to gather around and to build their own stage. It's a sort of a cool creative holiday where people enjoy all kind of different styles of music. Has been sold out for every year. So yeah, and then we also we started doing Extrema Noir, the indoor festival, last year December, which is a new project I'm really into focusing on, and I want to combine the visual thing together with the music, and that's just what Extrema Noir comes in. So I think, that's sort of a sum of what I've been doing for the last couple of years and where I started. So first DJing, then working behind the scenes, and still doing the programming and managing the team around us. Yeah.
But I guess your role has evolved with as much as the dance music culture has evolved.
Yeah. First, I was only the programmer, the head of program. And Extrema was founded by one of the guys, Marcel, and he was.
Well, can I ask you what happened there? Did he sold up and
he sold the company during Corona time.
Yeah.
Things were unsure. Marcel was a really creative guy. He was the one who came up with the idea of doing solar. But he was backing off more. He was like, Bas, you are going to do the general management of the team, and so then Corona came up. Things were unsure. Are we going to do the festivals next year? Financial wise, we also did the Mandala Festival. It was also an idea of Marcel, but that was a big financial cost for us to do each and every year.
That was the family festival, right? The camping.
Yeah. And it was also in Holland, and we did that for like 3 or 4 editions. Corona came up, and Marcel was like, "Oh, Bas, what are we going to do? Can we have another festival next year?" So that was, I know it was in February when Corona came up. The summer came up. We had to fire.
March was kind of the cut-off point.
Yeah. So then
everything stopped in.
Then we knew that the summer after that. So in June, July, August, we knew 100% that we're not going to do any festival. No Extrema, no Solar, no Mandala. So we had to skip them all. We had to replace all the artists to next year, contract them all to next year. Financial wise, we also needed to fire some people within the basic core team, which was also not cool to do. And then it was after the summer, it was September, October, and then I can still remember Marcel was in doubt from what shall I do right now? Am I able
everything's
it's crashing down. Yeah. Can we do another festival next year again? Or maybe also is Corona never going to go away? I think the event industry was one of the hardest industries that got struck by Corona. So that was a really unsure time. And then I was in the background talking to some organizations and people I really knew who might be interested in doing business with Extrema or take over the company from Marcel, all the shares. Started, can't tell all, but we had some conversations with some big companies, and at the end, there was one based here in Holland, and I had a really good relationship with Peter from Paaspop, because back in the days we had an Extrema hosting at the Paaspop Festival. Peter was also Brabant based, which was also something Extrema was. And it was, I think it was September, half year later when Corona got out, when Marcel called me in the morning and he was watching the news. I can still recall it. It was Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, "Bas, I'm watching the news. And there's going to be another lockdown again. I don't think we're going to have another summer with events." So he was already worried about the next summer. And I was like, "I'm coming to you right now." So I got in the car and drove to him, and he was still watching the news and like, "Oh, what are we going to do? Do we need to fire more people, etc.?" It's still unsure. And I was like, I've talked to some people, and I think it's good to talk to the guys from Peter from Paaspop and Joop, his other partner, Peter and Joop. And from then it went really quick. October, November. I think the deal was closed in December, and Marcel got sold out, so he sold his company, all the shares for Extrema and also for Solar Festival, to the guys from Peter and Joop from Paaspop. But it was still an onshore summer. Next up was Extrema Outdoor the next summer, and it was planned for May. That didn't go through. Solar Festival was in August that summer. There was a chance that Solar was about to happen, but 3 weeks before the date of Solar,
they pulled it again.
They pulled it out. So there was no Solar. Luckily, we got the idea, Ugo and I got the idea, that we moved the Extrema Festival. It was normally in May, because in Belgium, things were a little bit different with rules. They had a whole corona system with green, orange, red, and how many contaminations, etc., etc. There were different rules the government was looking at to do a large event, 10,000 plus, 25,000 plus. And I was like, Ugo, maybe we can do in September, we're going to do the festival. Start with 3 stages, move all the artists to September, start with 3 stages. And the closer we come to the festival and the bigger the chances are that it's going to happen, we add another stage and we add another stage. And it was 1 month before the September date, and it was looking good that the festival was going to happen. And at the end, we ended up doing 6 stages in September. We were the first festival in September that opened up. So everybody, whole Belgium and a part of the south of Holland, came to Extrema Belgium in September edition, which was a great success for us.
Kept your heads above water.
Of course, we had a new investment from the guys from Peter and Joop, but that was a really big one for us. And it was good weather. The artists loved it. Everything was perfect, and from that point on, that was a push to push forward. And then, the year after that, it was all normal again. Also with Solar and Extrema.
Yeah. So the festival then in 2022 in the May, was the sort of the second one after being allowed back to do events.
Right, actually,
okay.
that
May was completely. We were completely completely sort of free there, weren't we?
Yeah.
So that must have been. Did you get drunk that day?
Actually, no. The May edition was cancelled, and it was our 10 years anniversary for Extrema. So
cancelled?
Yeah, it was cancelled. Yeah, during Corona.
No, and it's last year.
So we moved that one. So when it was cancelled, we did a sort of a small edition in September, which is called Extrema Extra, and we moved the cancel anniversary edition to last year.
Yeah.
But it was actually the 12th year, but it was actually officially our 10 years anniversary. Oh no, last year was also it was a big success, but we, and maybe you can recall that one, that was in June. The Sunday was enormous rainfall here in Holland. You had the 7th Sunday Festival also on the Sunday.
Oh, geez,
it was during the Pinkster weekend.
Rain out, wasn't it?
Yeah, and so the Friday and Saturday were beautiful weather, but the Sunday was I've never seen so much rain. And it started raining in the morning, but it the how do you say it? The putdeksels in Holland, in the street, they were like blowing out in the community over there. All the parkings were completely flooded. It was one big crisis. We had a crisis meeting together with the mayor, with the fire brigade, with the police.
It was a red alert.
It was a red alert, and the mayor was actually saying, "I think we have to pull the plug at around 3:00 p.m. in the midday." And we were like, "Oh no!" And then the fire brigade luckily said, "No, it's all fine. It's stopped raining within 2 or 3 hours, and the water is sinking really fast in the grounds." But And that was our luck. In Belgium, it was dry at 6 o'clock, and from 6 till 12, there was still an amazing party with a lot of hectic and crisis up front, I must say. But in Holland here, a lot of festivals.
Funny enough, we was in Enschede, and we had literally, it was just the last 2-3 hours where we had that
dry.
It was dry the whole time up until about the last 3 hours,
and then it was flood. Oh yeah,
and then we got hit hard.
It moved from Belgium to the north.
Yeah. But it was, it's one of those things in Holland. You got to be prepared for everything and anything, don't you?
Yeah. So to answer your question, was I drunk last year to eventually? Celebrate.
As a celebration. Yeah,
the thing was, we had some drinks, of course, on the Saturday, which was perfect. It was sold out, and the sun was shining, and Adriatic was closing on the main stage, and the whole team was like, wow, and we didn't expect so much rain on the Sunday. So I got up on Sunday with a little bit of a hard head, and then you have to go into a crisis meeting. So that was a little bit double hard to do, but at the end it was a good edition. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yep.
And like I said, lots of big movements.
Yep.
Been taking place, and obviously helped with the instigation. So there's an even more personal attachment to Extrema now, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
And Noir, like you say, you're going all in on Noir creatively.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yep.
So, what can people look to and expect for? Because you was just explaining before the podcast about the LED screens.
Yeah.
The idea of where you want to take it now creatively. Is Noir is going to be that for you?
Yeah, I think Extrema Noir, we do that also in the same province where we also do the festival. So you have lots of territories in Belgium. You have the Brussels territory, you have the Ghent territory from Compass, you have the Antwerp territory, which we have our Belgium office. But the festival is taking place in Limburg, the province of Belgium, and we wanted
to Limburgers.
Yeah, and we wanted to do the indoor edition of Extrema, also in the same province, because we got a lot of roots over there, and also some visitors that come from that place. So we did the first edition of Extrema Noir in the Trixo Arena in Hasselt. Which has a capacity of the main room has 17,500 people, but they got several more rooms. And what I believe and what I see right now, the whole Web3 meets visuals, meets music, meets NFT, etc. I think that's really interesting. The whole artificial intelligence thing also a little bit, but. If you look, for the listeners, if you look at the whole Tale of Us thing with Anima, this guy is brilliant. He the shows of them is like not only beautiful music that touches your soul, melodic wise, but also visual wise. I think
stunning.
It's amazing. We've met last year ADE. That was the last time I met you. During the Eric Prydz Holo show. I've never seen the Holo show before, but I was really amazed how they
trick your mind.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's a really mind trick, isn't it?
It gives you extra goosebumps. Sure. Normally music gives me goosebumps, but visuals are now an extra aspect of the show. And that was something I wanted to do with Extrema Noir. Not only just put two rooms, two DJs, and then techno and the tech house thing. So we had Extrema Outdoor last year, and our main stage with Extrema Outdoor was hosted by the guys from Printworks in London. And Printworks in London is well known for first of all, their amazing location, and secondly, for the big, cool, amazing visuals. So at the festival, I was talking to the guys, the owner of Printworks, the manager, And I was like, who is doing your visuals and print works? And he told me, the guy, they're actually Russians, the guys, they're from Setup Design. And they also do the visuals for the Red Hot Chili Pepper show last summer. You should Google it sometimes. Visuals, Red Hot, it's amazing. So I contacted them, and they came up, and I was like, we want to do our first show indoor with Extrema. It needs to be really impressive, and we need visuals, we need screens. Can you come up with a cool design idea and visuals? So we got a lot of ideas coming in from them, and then we came up with the big idea. We had, I think it was 800 square meter LED behind the DJ booth. Like the DJ was standing over there, and the LED went boom into the area. It was completely amazing. The visuals were amazing. The show was amazing, and yeah, lots of people after the show were talking about this was one of the insane shows we have seen in Belgium, and that's where my challenge is for next year's edition, to make it better again, maybe to have better visuals compared with the DJs, and yeah, that's where my challenge is for the next period.
Yeah. So the organisation, now that you're sort of within the organisation, what's the name of that organisation?
Oh, the
Paaspop.
Paaspop. It's called they just made a new whole a helicopter company. It's called the This Is Live Group.
Right. They
do a lot of shows during the year. So
creatively, obviously you're within the Extrema situation, but Paaspop just had that weekend.
Did last weekend, yeah.
Yeah. Dance music is a massive part of festival culture now.
Correct, yeah.
How did that weekend go for you? Because I guess this would be your sort of, as much as you've done loads and loads of shows, this would be like your first one in this new. No. The thing is, this not the first Paaspop since.
No. The thing is, I mentioned because I knew Peter from Paaspop years ago. We did a Extrema hosting in at Paaspop, and then Peter started doing his own hostings, like We Are Electric, because that was also a festival for Peter. So the electronic stage at Paaspop was then hosted by We Are Electric. There was a lot of, and Peter loves electronic music and styles. He always doubles the guys who playing Awakenings. Was also last weekend. We had Reinier Zonneveld, Cole Basile, Nina Kravitz, Panpot, and Enrico playing Awakenings last weekend and doubled it up with Paaspop. So they were closing one of the big stages at Paaspop Festival.
But that's, I guess the point of my question was is like now you've even got more of an adventure to look forward to within the Paaspop group, right?
Yeah. The thing is, my base and my love is still within the Extrema thing, but I'm helping out other festivals within the whole This Is Live group as well. I'm programming a little bit for the Paperclip Festival. I'm giving my advice for Paaspop. Did also some bookings for Paaspop. That's the strength of being a whole corporate company. And I love to do it. The more bookings, the more music I can do creatively, the more happier I get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we want to build that to a bigger next level also. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, you've lots of people have committed to sort of taking their brands and operating worldwide. I think Extrema as a brand tried it early on, and then realised we're kind of happy in our Benelux area.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've kind of established as well? You kind of don't need to take the brand worldwide. The world can come to you guys now?
We did some international adventures with Extrema. We actually did 2 years of Extrema in Norway, in Oslo. the first year was with Ferry Course, and the second year was with Armin. But financial wise, it didn't give us any profits on those international adventures. We also were going to Mexico with a partner over there. At the end, it didn't go through. And then obviously we went from Extrema Holland to Extrema Belgium, which is indeed Benelux region. I think it's a good thing that you know you have to put the brand to be successful in your own country first. And we were with Extrema. That's why we also did Norway, and we were planning to do Mexico. But I think with Extrema Noir now coming up, the brand is getting stronger and stronger in Belgium, and from there, and also now with the whole corporate This Is Live group, with more people behind you and more financial resources behind you, I think the opportunities are there to maybe look at other countries as well. Yeah. And we're thinking and talking about it also, yeah.
Okay, so
of course, it's not like we're sticking just in Belgium.
But you could do, right? I
mean, we could do, but you know, you need
successful.
You need. There were. I think we've learned also from mistakes that have been in the past. You know, with Extrema, we did a lot of festivals who weren't successful. So in order to do something successful first in another country, it needs to be well investigated first. You need to have the financial resources. You need a good partner in that same country, the same musical vibe and knowledge. And I think when those things are coming together nicely, then you should stay. Then we should take that step international wise.
I see a sparkle in your eye.
Yeah.
But the noir allows you to stay creatively adventurous. In with what you were saying about that's
essentially, I think,
morphing of the
with the visuals. Yes. I was so proud of that project, not only visual wise but also sound wise. We had the largest Fero Function 1 system, which was used in Europe ever. And the guys from Function 1 from London, he actually flew over, the chief flew over, who was about to manage all the sound, that everything was perfect for Extrema Noir. Everything was perfect except for the weather. It was like -8 degrees outside.
Jeez.
That night. Yeah, it was the only thing that we didn't control. But the rest was perfect, and I wanted to have it even perfect again next year. And I think Belgium was missing because you had I Love Techno back in the old days.
That was huge from Ghent, right? It was in Ghent.
Yeah. And of course you have Rave Rebels in the Brussels region. But yeah, we want to do those things. Oh yes, that is from Charlotte. She's doing it in Ghent. She's doing it in Ghent with a context.
Is it Kinetics?
No. It's her own thing.
Yeah, Kinetics. Isn't it?
Context. It's called.
Is it Context?
Context. Yeah.
It was Kinetics.
No. Her label is.
That's two things you taught me today.
Yeah. She's doing her own thing. Yeah, that's her own. It's her own solo show based on her.
Yeah, but the girls are taking over in Belgium, right?
Yeah. There are two big chiefs, female chiefs in Belgium. It's Emily and Charlotte, and our partner for Extrema, Hugo. He's actually the booker and the manager of Emily, and I think Emily is also a big part of the Extrema family. She has been hosting her stage from year one, but also the guys. Farago, Emily's boyfriend, husband, I have to say, they were married last year, and the guys from Joy House, etc. They've played Extrema from the beginning. Also, they're part of the Extrema family. Yeah.
Well, you have a unique view, a bit like myself, really, but from a different angle, of course, because like you say, in the early days, you've researching, looking to book artists,
Yeah.
Do you have trials and tribulations in your head, because you must have some sort of favoritism to
some DJs
over the years, and then at the same time you've got these young guns who are changing the world sonically, and does that? Are you coming to that part of the?
I love new talent.
Yeah.
Each festival has a first spot to give away, a second spot to give away, a third spot to give away, and local talents. Each year I have new talents opening the festival. We have 7 stages on a Friday, 7 on Sunday. So 7 times 3 is 21 opening spots we have to give away on Extrema. 21. And those are only the opening spots. The second slots is also something for a talented. It's not something for an international name for 10K who's playing the second slot. So we got a lot of opening slots to give away for the talents. And of course, it's a combination of talent, the manifested names, the headliners you want, your wish list you want, a combination of, and also really important. Also, I think that's something we also do at Extrema. We also look at persons of color, which is important for us. Female DJs, not only male DJs. I had a podcast, I think, a couple of months ago that was about how females, how do we program female DJs on our festival. That's something we also look at, that there's a good combination of person of color, male DJs and female DJs.
But you was always like that anyway. It's just this kind of, there's more of a spotlight
on
being
it.
Turned to it now.
Yeah. That's
especially
that's
now
true.
Working in that environment of
That's
corporate
Yeah,
situations.
But at the end, and you must agree with me, at the end it comes down to the music.
Absolutely.
They play and produce. I can put a female DJ or a person of color or a male DJ on an opening spot or a second slot, but if he's not playing well, or he hasn't produced anything,
right?
I won't book him.
No.
It's all about the music, and I listen to a shitload of music. If I'm back in my car, I'm going to listen to music. When I came here, I was listening to music. When I'm in the gym, I'm listening to music. Even when I'm at the office, I listen to music. And I love listening to music. It's part of my life. So that's something I take into account, which slots I give away on the festival. And sometimes, indeed, like the guys from Joy House are playing every year in Emily, but they're still developing. They're still getting bigger. They're not just laying around there and doing nothing. They're still producing big records, building their profile, and they're keeping bigger and bigger. And they should return to Extrema. Yeah.
Does it take that to impress you, or do you look for other things, especially with new talent? Is there something particular that you? Is there something particular you look for, or you just kind of it comes out there and it kind of goes?
That's the thing, and that is every year. If I have to think about what should I book in 2000, because I got everything done now for this year, so I'm already looking at for next year, and who is going to be the next big thing in 2024? You don't know yet, but after the summer. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it just appears when listening to music and following the social media, and there's starting to getting a buzz around some person or more persons, and then you're going to follow that artist, and then you will notice that this artist is getting a hype, and then he's doing a set at the Circle thing, which is, if you do a set at Circle, then that's the next big thing also. And I think each year there's a certain buzz around an artist that gets out, and I need to have that artist on the lineup.
But that could happen right in the middle of the summer as well. What
No.
Do you position?
No, it never happens during the summer. It always happens before the summer or after the summer.
You're lucky. You get a sneaky. Do you do the Miami Music Week
I did Miami years ago.
Right.
But I think there are three musical. How do you say it?
Cycles.
No, not cycles, but 3 musical gatherings. You have Amsterdam Dance Event, IMS Ibiza, and you have the Miami thing, Winter Music Conference in Miami. And I think I was in Miami years ago with an AMS back in the days. Like I think the last time was 12 years ago or 13 years ago. And I went 2 years in Miami, and I was there. But during that week, everything is with like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, going on the boulevard. Like the girls are flying in from all of America with their fake. Everything is like
everything's fake, isn't it?
Everything is fake. Yeah. I'm still trying to be polite, and doing business there, and listening to good quality music. You know, like in a good. It's not comparable to ADE in my opinion. I think Amsterdam Dance Event is there are a lot of panels. Oh, that's my that's my Siri. Should I turn it off?
Yeah, turn it off. Just in case.
I think the most business you get done during the Amsterdam Dance Event with appointments. And every year, if I'm going to Amsterdam, I'm going there from Wednesday until Sunday. And I got appointments from 10 o'clock in the morning, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every hour I got an appointment with an agent. And at the end of the day, you're totally tired of talking to the agent and doing business. You also have to go out during the night to see artists or to shake hands or do some things with relations. And you also have the IMS in Ibiza, but that's, you know, it's also, I think that's a little bit a combination of Miami, like all the hype and ADE. So Miami.
You can get a lot more business done in Ibiza compared to Miami, and the sound. The presentations of new sound.
Yeah,
it's more centralized around the clubs and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But I think still Amsterdam is still leading in.
It sounds like you kind of set the whole year up to speak to everybody about the coming year, right?
Doing ADE. Back in the years, the ADE was for me locking in or penciling, optioning the artist for next year's summer. But the last years, I'm already now busy with doing the programming for 2024. Way ahead for Amsterdam Dance Event. And during Amsterdam Dance Event, I have my talks and my meetings to see the agents, which I've seen only once a year or 2 times a year, and asking how is next year looking. So that means that every year I start earlier doing the bookings for next year. And people sometimes underestimate that. It's like, oh, Extrema, and why didn't you book him? Or, you know, why? And I'm like, it's not that you're in a store and, you know, with the Albert Heijn, it's like, I want that and I want that and that, and I pay that much.
It'd be nice if it was that simple, wouldn't it?
That would, you know, I had, you know,
Are you still working with budgets? You still have to work with budgets, right?
Yeah, of course, everybody's working with a profit and loss sheet, Excel, with all the cost in it. We have a budget, of course, but it's not the same each year. It can you know, last year the budget for upcoming edition is way much higher than last year. Yeah.
We're never going to let that happen again, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So look, kind of on the spot questions.
Yeah, on the spot.
Who's your favourite artist to work with?
Artist?
Yeah.
I think you should rephrase that question. Who is the favorite agent? Because I always talk to the agent, not to the artists. I got lots of cool agents I work with, and also the artist behind the agent. And I think, you know, after working for 25 years in the business, I know all the agents. I've seen all the agents. And that, then negotiating for an artist makes it a bit easier than if you start like a new agent for a company, you know. I think it's really important that you should have a good relation with an agent doing business for the artist. The favorite artist, I don't know. I think that's going to be a musical thing, which I love, musical wise.
That can be the next one. What's it like? I'm getting. Well, what's your best gig to date? What's your most memorable gig to date of all the years?
That's a funny story, I guess. I think, and there's also something I was proud on. I believe it was 2008. It's a funny story. I was the first who got the Swedish House Mafia to Holland. The first promoter who got them in, and it was a funny story because Extrema Outdoor was in July in the summer, so I started doing the bookings the year before, let's say August, September. And there wasn't the Swedish House Mafia yet.
No.
Nobody heard about the Swedish House Mafia. It didn't exist nowadays at that time. But I was a big fan from Axel as a producer, and also Steve Jello. And I was talking to Amy. She's one of the biggest agents worldwide. She was representing Steve Jello and also Axel and also Sebastian and Grosso. And I was like, hey, Amy, can we do Axel on the main stage of Extrema next year? And she got an email back and said, Bas, we're going to try something new next year. I said, well, what? It's called the Swedish House Mafia. And I was like, Swedish House Mafia? But okay, is it fine that I can put Axel really big on the flyer? No, really big on the flyer, and Steve also, and Grosso, and then really small, the Swedish House. No. We want Swedish House Mafia, big capital letters, headline billing on top, and then put really small the names underneath. And they didn't produce any record together that time. And I was like, well, all three of them together, back to back to back. That's pretty cool, man. Those are the house legends. They were brilliant producers that days, and Sebastian was one of the biggest DJs in my opinion. So that we closed the deal. I'm not going to tell you for how much. That was
It was a decent price.
It was.
If you're looking at it now,
if you look, there was like a discount. But you know, I was up to doing that, putting them on the main stage of Extrema, and so we closed the deal in December, I guess, and then they made their first big record, the big hit in February. They made another one in April, and just before the summer, they released another big banger. And then they were playing Extrema Outdoor, and everybody in Holland knew the Swedish House Mafia that day. That was amazing. It was actually, there's a YouTube thing from Swedish House Mafia playing the Future Funk stage at Extrema. I think that was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my career. You know.
Certainly,
yeah. So that was.
It's nice to be ahead of the curve as well, isn't it?
That is really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, on that then, who can you sort of hold your hand up and say favorite DJ?
Favorite DJ, I love Adriatic. Adriatic is really solid. I love their music. I listen to a lot of them. They also produce and remix a lot of big tracks. Their circle set, and their last one also at the Pyramids, it's amazing. If there was one act that I want every year back at Extrema, it's Adriatic. Yeah,
cool. What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? Italian food, pasta.
I was worried you were going to say worstenbroodjes.
Worstenbroodjes? No. I'm from the south of Holland. I'm not from Brabant.
Okay, sorry.
Here in Brabant, that doesn't matter. No, it's the pastas, the Italian cuisine, and I love to make it myself. It's a sort of a hobby for me to make good pastas.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like a mind switch, you know. When I'm no, not and just not making the dough, but
so you're a fake
cook
chef.
it. No. I mean the whole the sauce, etc.
Oh wow!
It's not like made in 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
It needs to go on the fire for 4 hours, and then it's perfect.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Size wants the invite. Favorite holiday spot?
I always, it sounds cliche, but I always loved Ibiza. But I haven't been on a holiday for the last couple of 4 years.
Okay.
Haven't been outside of the country. No, I don't know. I don't, during the summer season, I'm working on the festivals, and outside of the summer season, I'm also working on the festivals, making the program, etc. But Ibiza, I love Ibiza. Just rent a car over there, go to all the small spots, the restaurants, etc., etc. With nice company, then it's that's my favorite spot to be.
Well, where's the place you'd love to visit the most that you haven't had a chance to? I know you had the time off. You had 2-3 weeks, 3 months. No worries.
Yeah. No worry. I think it's still music related. Then I would go to the Tulum thing during the January month, where everything is with
everybody's there now.
Everybody is there. But I also heard that it's getting commercial again, and that all the rich guys and people are going over there. But if you see the things, I got some friends who went over there, and it was crazy. The shows are there with Afterlife and Adriatic, etc. It's pretty impressive,
stunning location
to see, and the location is big. I have no idea how the vibe is there with the people, because I have not been there.
I've seen some stuff with Damien Lazarus. I'm not sure if it's
with Damien,
where they go in the jungle though. Where they're in the jungle. I'd like this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Cool.
So what are you listening to in the car right now?
I was listening on my way here. Do you know the Unforgettable label?
Yeah,
I love.
Oh, they make some great stuff.
It's amazing. That's melodic. That gets into your body. Lane 8, Cubic Color, the old 60 milliliter guys. Ben Böhmer was also doing some stuff on Undeep, but I really love that sound. It's I started DJing. I was a trance DJ back in the old days, but this Undeep has a
progressive.
Yes, exactly. But it has a trancey vibe. The melodic thing. It's not like the banging techno, but it's progressive, and that's what I always.
I think that's it's funny for me, because progressive reminds me. Like, I hate the pigeonholes.
Yeah.
But I think, if you say house music, let's say we're house music.
Yeah.
I think European sound is progressive. It is the progressive in that it covers the deep house, the techno, the minimal tech.
Yeah.
It's trancey, it's melodic. It's hard, it can be hard in places, but I think ultimately it's got to be longer than 4.5 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, progressive is about long tracks and mixing that all. It's not like 2 minutes track and then another mix comes in after 2 minutes. It's really letting the songs play itself and mix it well together. Yeah, that's one of the key marks of progressive. And also for the artists who playing progressive, is they're trying to tell a story. And that's also what Undeep is. That was our
that label's it's embalmed that, and it is that, isn't it?
Yeah,
that Injuna sound is everything you want in progressive music.
Yeah, but on Undeep, then you have several sides, because on Undeep is actually from Above and Beyond, and I've never booked Above and Beyond on one of our festivals, and Above and Beyond is well known for they're kind of trancey, but they they also have a new sub label. It's called Reflections. You should listen to that also. It's more like the chill out thing from them. You have Undeep and Tony McGuinness, one of the he's into this reflection thing. It comes all from the heart.
Do you know? I don't think they've ever. I think the story is the 3 of them never actually DJ as Above and Beyond. There's only ever 2 of them.
Yeah. Tony and his other name, I don't know his other name. Yeah,
their
that's
sound. I did a gig in Australia, and it was Getter and Above and Beyond was sort of the co-headliners. And, I think we did a show. I think it was Sydney or Melbourne. It was one of the Sydney or Melbourne shows, and normally it was lined up, I think, for Above and Beyond and then Getter to finish, and then the other show was Getter with Above and Beyond to finish, and the difference in the sound production.
Yeah.
You know, but it was just stunning. It was like, Getter was in your face.
Yeah.
And it was just when Above and Beyond came on, it was like the sound just kind of just
the sound
just
takes you. I know.
Yeah. Their production's off
Yeah,
the chain.
I get you. Yeah. Cool.
So how does Bas Baetsen see the future?
Wow. Well, this whole corporate thing with the This Is Live group is expanding. Extrema Noir is something we're still focusing on and building on. The Extrema Outdoor Festival, of course, is also a yearly thing we do. How do we see? How do I see the future, or how do we see the future?
How do you see the future?
I think I mentioned already.
A few more grey hairs.
Like I mentioned, I think that music is going to be. It's not only about the music anymore, but also visuals, and maybe AI also is going to be integrated in the next couple of years.
More submersive.
Yeah. Exactly, and a better combination of all those aspects. That's something we're also focusing on, and what I love to see and hear.
Would you like to be the puppet master to it?
Not only me, but also together with my colleagues, that everybody within the team understands and feels the vibe I also have, and we can work together to that master plan or plan we have. That is for me the most satisfying thing. Yeah.
Well, that's a perfect way to sort of bring around the last question then. So, if you had the keys to the world for the big change, if someone said, look, you can change the world, here's the keys, what would be the first door you would open up to changing the world?
To change the world, that's easy. No more poverty and no more wars. Those are two key. Or do you mean in the musical industry?
No.
No more wars and no more poverty. And
so what would be that first? So you've got those keys. What would be the first door you walk through? How would you change that?
How would I change that? Oh man, I can't. That was my question. I can't. That's something I can't change. Only hope for. I think wars doesn't make any sense. That's something we all have to do all together, and the world leaders have to decide on that one.
Yeah, we know that's not going to happen.
No,
we know that's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah, but as a culture, and you know. Being a part of seeing it, the way we bring the world together with music, there's no competition in that. It's actually the only thing that's bringing us together without any worries. Do you feel proud to be a part of all of that and still moving it forward?
Yeah, of course I am.
Yeah. Well, Bas, I salute you.
Thank you, man.
I hope it continues for many, many, many years to come.
I hope to see you soon again.
Well, maybe you can book me when everybody gets like the old.
Well, the thing with Extrema, we don't have any MCs anymore. No. But how
we haven't had for years.
Extrema, no. The techno festival, but for Solar and the others.
When we have a 30-year reunion,
yes,
we must be around.
No, but we got a lot of other festivals going on where we need MCs for the Solar Festival, for instance.
Well, hey, look, you heard it.
Yeah. Next year. But I thought you were only the voice.
Funny enough, actually, I might be on a sneaky one because I've got a young lady who's in our crew with the Jangala, and I think she's trying to put a UK two-step thing together, and she might be bringing me into DJ. And I said, well, if you can get me into DJ,
Are you going to
I'll
try?
do the MCing for nothing with her, because I think she's got something going on. I don't know how far she is down the road with it, but we'll see. We'll see. So I might be in and around the camping.
Are you serious considering doing DJ?
Camping? I mean, I've been a DJ for 40 years.
Oh, I thought you were only the voice.
Yeah, no, but that's what most people think.
Oh.
That's what most people think. But no, so maybe I might be.
Cool.
It's the August. It's the August day, isn't it?
August, first weekend of August.
First weekend of August. Yeah. Okay, Bas.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know what to do. Listen, like, share, subscribe, do all of that, and shout to the Maverick family. Don't forget the discount. Love you. See ya. Bye bye.